show you one stem golden heather, which was rescued from its habitat before it was stomped on and killed. This thing was a month ago was captured. And it had none of these sprouts coming out at the very bottom of it, right at the soil. You see how large this plant has gotten? All those sprouts have come out in 1 month's time with clear water, tap water, filtered, because we do not need all the garbage that the cities put in the water. As you see, I have 3 sprouts coming out now right at the base of this one twig. This plant knows that this is its base, that this is its root structure. What this thing is going to do is grow into a 6-inch round object. Just this one twig. It knows. And is genetically geared. For these branches here will branch out. At this particular point there will be about 6 or 7 branches that will come out and try to grow as big as this one large branch. And then these branches will grow to 6 to 10 inches long with many sprouts, many branches, just like this one branch, how it's sprouting. And as you see at the top, it also has about 3 to 4 branchings. You see the brown in the middle? That's where it originally was, almost dead. And all these branches have come out since I've had it. And there's a real small one right there, right in the middle, that you can hardly see, a little green one. That was dead. And this little one here, that one, it could maybe develop green like this, but I'm not so sure. There's several others on there that are not developing. Maybe, but the plant itself knows that this is the base, and it's got 3 branches now coming out that will grow like this long branch. So this is my youngest plant, Hudsonia Montana, an endangered threatened species. For on top of the holy mountain that it has grown so well has been decimated over the last few years, and even this last year we have lost about 30% of its substance, of its numbers. Some of the largest plants known have been decimated by stomping on them, walking on them, and urinating on them. Here's another plant I've rescued that almost became budding. It did bud, but none of the flowers have come out. Here is a flower right here that would come out, but it has been hampered accidentally by me putting tap water on it instead of purified tap water, filtered tap water. There's a couple more buds there. But this plant itself, now that it has survived, in the middle of it, you may not be able to see very well. Let's see if I can exposure it a little bit more. That's as much as it's going to do. This yellow light is no good. But in the middle of it, here's another plant I captured. It was in the wrong place at the wrong time. This was the main stalk back here, with this one coming off of it. This is a separate branch. This one is also, and there's several more separate branches out here. But this, just like the last plant I showed you, was the main stalk. And right down here, which you're not going to be able to see, is where the main stalk comes out. And right in there are several new buds that are coming out because it's trying to grow in a circular bunch. Like I said, this was the first one that came out. This one right here with the flower on it. And this one came off of that main branch about an inch from the root. And then these come closer. My hand is in the way. This was even a part of the first branch that came out, and the root is down in here, coming up here. You see where this is coming up, and there's another one right beside it and everything. And they will be coming out this way, as this came out the main stalk this way. All these are a shoot from even this one. This one does come out from this way. But all these others actually came off of this one main stalk. My hand's in the way again. There's one main stalk coming up this way. The first outcropping. This plant, I would say, is at least 5, if not 10 years old. No problem with that. At least 5, if not 10 years old. Now to the next. And here the next one, another one that's nearly 5 to 10 years old. This one's a little bit more unique. It had a harder time growing, although it looks pretty functional here. What I mean by that is this branch is the only branch. It leads from this point all the way down this way to here, and the root structure goes in right about here. All this outcropping is from this one branch. hopefully this year, although these appear to be separate, it's not, because this is where the root matter goes in and actually goes down in the ground this way. This was stomped over at one time, squashed where everything grew that way, and although it's been a couple years since it's been stomped on and it is growing this way, still these are all basically from that one stem, and hopefully down here we'll soon be getting right at ground level some outcroppings, different stem matter all together that will be coming out this way in different axis all around this way. And in about 4 or 5 years time, hopefully this plant will be the size of this, although I think it would be more like about 10 years. This will extend out farther, but hopefully with these branches coming out here and there and there and there, and these may be branching off, although like I said, these are, which I don't think you can see, coming out of that main branch. Main branch going that way. As bright as I can get it. And that yellow light does nothing. This is the stalk, you see. It's all one, and hopefully right in here we'll be getting some dispersion and growth in that area. Like I said, this is a 5 to 10 year old plant. Remember this plant? This is a 2-year-old plant, at least. And here, another about 5-year-old plant. This one actually is growing much better, and I don't think it was ever stomped on. This stem is the main stalk, and it's growing straight up almost. It was on slight of a hill. You can see it's cantilevered just a little bit because it was on a slight hill, and it was just on the western side. It didn't get a whole lot of eastern sun. The sun didn't strike it till about 10 o'clock, and then it would get sun until sunset, so it actually started growing cantilevered that way to the west. But here again, this is the main stalk coming up, you see? All these have branched off and is now attempting to grow in a circle. And if unimpeded, it will grow in a circle. And in 20 years' time, it will be the size of this pot. Which is about 4.5 by 4.5. 4.5 inch round. Let's try to look at these flowers. Can't get too close with this cam. Fuzzy little flowers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's 1 on the other side. This is the one that had problems with it when I accidentally put tap water on it instead of filtered water. It got brown on me. And the leaves closed up. These needle nose leaves, they closed up. When it's well, they spread out. And even the leaves themselves, if you cannot see, has a fuzziness to them. Just like these flowers have a lot of fuzziness to them. There's another flower way over there. I do not think these will bloom. They should have already. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't 10 years old as opposed to 5 years.